Good morning, everyone. Please confirm me that I'm audible or not. Okay. In the last session, in the morning session, we have discussing the traditional section of the geography. Okay. In the last session, we have started the geomorphic processes, in which we have discussed the exogenic and the endogenic. We have introduced the exogenic and the endogenic forces. Okay. Exogenic and the endogenic forces are very important forces, and most of the earth surface structure is formed by the endogenic and the exogenic processes, and that is collectively known as the geomorphic process. Okay, so we further categorize the endogenic process into diastrophic process and the sudden diastrophic forces and the sudden forces. Okay, so sudden forces are the forces which are responsible for the phenomena on the earth, like the earthquake and volcano, and other some phenomena like tsunami, etc. Okay, but diastrophic force are the force or the diastrophic process or the process in which the force is applied in very slow pace, and if the force is applying in the very slow pace, it is responsible for the formation of the many vast, or the you can say that many important structure or relief on the earth surface. Okay, so we will discuss today that is the geostrophic. So today we will discuss the diastrophic movement. Diastrophic movement. This diastrophic movement is the movement is the part of the this diastrophic movement is because of the endogenic forces. So you can say it is the slow. It happens because of the slow endogenic forces. Slow endogenic forces. Okay, slow endogenic forces. And in the last session, if you attended the last session, you have seen that in the last session we have discussed the diastrophic force or the diastrophic moment can be into two direction. It can be into two direction. If the movement is happening in horizontal, if the movement is happen horizontally, then this type of the movement is responsible for the formation of the mountains, and that is called the orogenic phenomena or the orogenic process. Okay, if the diastrophic process is, if the diastrophic movement is happening in the horizontally, then such type of the process is called the orogenic process, because it is responsible for the formation of the mountain, and it is also called the mountain building process. This is also called the mountain building process, and it is in geographically difficult in the typical geographical language, it is called the orographic process. Okay, so if you know that if the movement is happen in vertical direction, if the movement is happen in the vertical direction, then this is called the epirogenic movement. It is called the epirogenic process or epirogenic movement, and such type movement is responsible for the formation of the continents and the oceans. Continents and oceans. So this it can be, it could be in your question paper in the form of the short notes. What do you understand by the diastrophic movement, and how this diastrophic movement is responsible for the formation of the structure or the formation of the shape on the earth surface? Okay, so diastrophic movement is the movement which is caused for the slow endogenic process. Because of this slow endogenic process, this movement is happening, and this movement could be into two direction. If the vertical this movement is happening, this is called the epeirogenic, and this epeirogenic process is responsible for the formation of the continent and ocean. And if force is, or the movement is happening in horizontal direction, then it is responsible for the formation of the mountain. Okay, it is responsible for the formation of the mountain. So let us begin this section, orogenic process. Let us begin the orogenic process. What is the orogenic process, and how this orogenic process movement is happened, and what is the consequences of this orogenic movement? Okay, what are the consequences? Which type of the mountain is formed by this orogenic process or orogenic movement? You can say the orogenic movement, epeirogenic movement. Okay, I hope you are getting the points what I am telling here. So this is very important. It could be maybe in your question in the form of the short notes. So it is very important thing. Okay, so orogenic movement. Orogenic movement further can be categorized into the two parts. If the force is applying in horizontal direction, then there is a two possibility. Force can be applied into opposite direction, and force can be applied into the same direction. In orogenic movement, if the force is applied into the same direction, then such type force is called compressional force. Then this type of the force is called the compressional force, and this compressional force are responsible for the formation of the folded mountains and the related structure. So compressional force when the movement is into the same direction. When the movement is happening into the same direction, then it generates the compressional force, and such type compressional force is responsible for the formation of the folded mountain and the related structures. And the second one, when the orogenic movement, in this movement, if the force is applied or the movement is happening into the opposite direction, then the force is applied is called the tensile force or the tensional force. Tensile force, or you can say the tensional force. Okay, if the movement is happening into the opposite direction, if the two rocks are moving away from each other, then it, because of why this is moving, if this type of the movement is happening, then the force which is generated here is called the tensile force. Okay, such force is called the tensile force, and because of the tensile force, the some structures like the folded mountain, the block mountains and the other stretches are being formed on the earth surface. So tensile force are responsible for the formation of the block mountain and the related structure. Okay, so if you have a clear diagram, if you have the clear picture in your mind, then you can differentiate the things in the easy way, and you can write the things in the easy way. Okay, if the clarity is happening, if the clarity is visible in your answer, then examiner will give you good marks, and this will help you in the final selection. Okay, so compressional force and the tensile force. So compressional force, what is the compressional force and how the compressional force is happening, and what is the tensile force, what is the tensional force? For the clarification, for the clear this type of the movement is first time is declared first time very clearly mentioned in the plate tectonic theory. So if we understand the things, if we want to understand the things, we should go through the some theories which is related to the earth surface formation or the geomorphology, like the continental rift theory, like the plate tectonic theory, like the ocean floor spread theory, sea floor spread theory. These theories are very important theories which is related to these type of the forces, and this theory explain these type of forces, how these forces are working, and how the result of these forces are visible on the earth surface. So to better understanding, we should understand the theories related to, or the theories given in the context of these forces. The very first time a scientific theory, you can say it, the scientific theory on the basis of the science, one theory was postulated by the Mr. Alfred Wegener in 1912, and that theory was published in 1915, and that is called the continental rift theory. Generally, the Alfred Wegener was a meteorologist. He was a meteorologist, and he was studied about the meteorology of the different region, and then he observed some different thing, and on the basis of that observation he postulated a theory, and that theory is called the continental rift theory. Okay, so if we want to explain these forces, we should go through some theories, and the first theory, that is important theory, that is called the continental drift theory. This theory is called the continental drift theory. This theory was postulated by the Mr. Alfred Wegener. This theory was given in 1912, first time published in 1915, and again he make some amendment in this theory. He made this amendment in this theory, and again republished it in 1921. Okay, so don't be confused in the years. Somewhere it is given in 1912, somewhere it is given in the 1915, and somewhere it is given in the 1921. Okay, so the very first time, the idea of the continental drift theory was derived in 1912 by this man. And again he published this theory in the journals in 1915, and again he amended this theory in 1921, and that is why these 3 years are mentioned, these 3 years you can see with this theory. Okay, so Wegener, what Wegener told in this theory? As I told you that the Wegener was a meteorologist. He was not a geomorphologist, he was a just meteorologist. He was studied the weather condition of the different areas in the Europe as well as in the different continent. So when he was studied the meteorology, when he was studied the vegetation, then he saw some different phenomena, or then he saw some features which are matched with the other continents. Okay, he looked some feature in the European continent, and he also looked the same feature in the North American continent. So he looked the some feature in the African continent, and the same feature in the South American continent. So that similarities force him to draw an idea, to why these features are the same. That means if the features are the same, then there is a two possibility. If all the conditions are the same, but conditions are the different, but features are the same, then there is only one possibility, that if that particular feature or that particular landmass was associated with each other before a long time ago. Okay, so a long time ago, that particular landmasses were collectively that particular landmasses was connected to each other. So he firstly told on the observation of on the basis of his observation, he told the very first time that the all present continents which are far away from each other at the present time, they are once upon a time that features that continents was associated or the adjoined to each other, and on the basis of that observation he derived a theory, and he told that the present day continent, the distance between the present day continent was derived or drifted is the result of the drifting in these continents. So if the distance is this, so this distance is the result of the drifting between these continents. And he told that the once a time, all the continents on the earth was associated with each other. They form only one landmass, that is called he termed the Pangea. And he told that all the land masses was accumulated with each other, and they are located at the south pole of the earth. They are located near the south pole of the earth. He told that, and he termed this landmass as the Pangea. He told today's land masses or the today's continent which are away from each other at a time continents was associated, and collectively that continents form they form only one continent, that is called the supercontinent, and that supercontinent was named as the Pangea by him. So he told there was only one continent, that is called the Pangea, and that Pangea was located near the south pole on the earth, and the remain section is filled up with the water, and that is a great or the super ocean that was located at that time, and that super ocean was termed by him as the Panthalassa. He told only one ocean was there, and that ocean is called the Panthalassa. So this is the Pangea and this is the Panthalassa, and this Pangea is located near the south pole. And he told that due to the celestial effect and due to the rotational effect of the earth, they started to break down. And one thing he told also, that the remaining between these Pangea, one section is located there, and one section that is located is termed as the sea, and this sea is called Tethys Sea by him. So you should understand that the existence of the Tethys Sea was with the Pangea. Somewhere or in some books it was told that when this Pangea is fragmented, then the Tethys Sea was formed, but it is not correct. Pangea and Tethys Sea both are was into existence with the same time. So this type of structure was formed. This type of the structure was the structure of the Pangea. Okay, so Tethys Sea was not formed after the breaking or after the fragmentation of the Pangea, but Tethys Sea was located with the Pangea like this. Okay, so you should understand this. You have to understand. You know about this. If you look this point into any question into any book, then you understand this. This is not correct. Okay, after some time, when the celestial forces and the rotational forces of the earth works upon them, then this Pangea is started to break. And if this Pangea is breaked, and that Pangea, if that Pangea is break into two parts, then the northern section is called the Angara land. This section is called the Angara land. He told this section as the Angara land, and the southern section was told by him as a Gondwana land. So this section is called the Gondwana land and this section is called the Angara land. And due to the rotational force of the earth, this entire continent is started to move northwest direction, northeast direction. This entire section is started to move into the northeast direction. Okay. If this section is started to northeast direction, that means the drifting between these continents and the distance between these continents gradually started to increase. And after the some time period, this Angara land also fragmented into the different sections, and the Gondwana land also fragmented into the different section. And with the movement of the northeast, entire landmass started to drift toward the northeast section, northeastward. Okay, so further Angara land converted, or the Angara land divided into the, so this Angara land somewhere it is also called the Laurasia. Okay, this Angara land fragmented into the northern section of the continent at the present time, that is the North America. That means the North America is the part of the Angara land. The Europe is the part of the Angara land, and the Asia, northern section of the Asia, is the part of the Angara land. Okay, so Angara land further divided into the different continents, and the drifting between these continents is also continuous still. This is the differences, or the drifting is still continuing between the continents, or among the continents. So northern section has fragmented into the 3 continents, and the southern section, that is termed as the Gondwana land. This Gondwana land also fragmented into the different continent which are present. The first Gondwana land, the South America is formed with the Gondwana land, South America continent. Africa continent is the part of the Gondwana land. India is also the part of the Gondwana land, and Australia is the part of the Gondwana land. Antarctica is also the part of the Gondwana land. That means the southern section, or you can say the southern section also fragmented into the different continents. So present continents, or the present continents, are formed by these 2 semi-supercontinents, and these semi-supercontinents, one is the Angara land and the second is the Gondwana land. Okay, so if we look the present scenario of the continent, then we see that this section is found at the present condition. Okay, if we look present time, then we see the situation, or the location of these continent is this, like this. Okay, but once a time that continents was the part of the single continent, as we studied. Okay, but why this continent is moving apart from each other? What is the reason behind this? That things was not cleared by the Mr. Wegener. So this is the drawback of his theory. But he cleared the many things. First time he scientifically tried to prove that the continents are moving away from each other. So first time, the contribution of his theory is that he first time draw the attention of the world community toward this, that why the continents are moving each other, or the present time continents are moving away from each other. Okay, so the contribution, this. So firstly, he told about this, okay, that the present situation is not always same, and this is the result of the drifting, and the drifting is still continue, and after a long time period, these continents again associated with each other. He told that after a long time period, the continents again will be associated with each other. Okay, so this was given, this thing was given by the Mr. Wagner. And if the Wagner told about some his theory, if Wagner given a theory, then he want to prove that theory. So he provided some evidences to prove his theory. Okay, so first evidence he provided, the first evidence he provided that the jigsaw fitting of the continent. Jigsaw fitting of the continent. The evidences which had been provided by the Mr. Wagner to prove his theory, the first is the jigsaw fitting of the continent. What is the jigsaw fitting? Saw, you know about the saw. Okay, jigsaw fitting means if the one thing is the part of if we break this stylus pen, okay, if we break this stylus pen, then if I want to again put this stylus pen with each other, then you look that they fitted to each other. They fitted to each other. They cannot be fixed for permanently, but you can fit you can fit it with each other. If any object is bricked, then if the some part is here, then the other part will have this type structure. Okay, तो अगर आप किसी भी चीज को तोड़ दो, तो तोड़ने के बाद में क्या होगा, उसको अगर आप एडजस्ट करो तो एडजस्ट हो जाता है, अगर वो सेम चीज से टूटा है. If that is the part of the same object, then you can fix it, not permanently, but you can adjust it. Okay, so such type of the fitting, if you pick a two saws and you can put these saws, then it can be fixed with each other. Okay, so this type of the fitting, it can be fit. So this type of the fitting is called the jigsaw fitting. Okay, so he told the first, he provided the first evidence that the jigsaw fitting of the continent. He told that if at the present time, if you want to fix this continent with the help of the computer, and he took the help of the computer, and he make a map to fit this continent, and he saw that if we put this continent with this section, that means there it is fitted here. If we put this continent with this has the fitting. If we put the India in this section, then it is also adjustable. Okay, so on the basis of the this jigsaw fitting, he told that all the continents, all the present continents can be fitted from to each other, can be fitted to each other, and it is the big evidence to draw the conclusion that they were the part of the each other. They were the associated with the each other. Okay, so first fitting, first evidence he was given, the first evidence he gave that the jigsaw fitting of the continent. Again, the second evidence he told that the glacial deposition on tropical region, or you can say on the equatorial region. Equatorial region. At the present time, there is somewhere in the equatorial region there is a glacial deposition is found. If the glacial deposition is found, that means there were the presence of the glacier, And the condition for the glacial presence was the negative temperature. The essential condition for the glacial presence is the negative temperature. And in the equatorial region, is it possible to the negative temperature? In the equatorial region, at the sea level, at the surface level, not at the high altitude, at the surface level, is it possible to glacial deposition or the glacial presence? No, at the present scenario, at the present situation, this is impossible. So if it is impossible, then you can calculate and you can draw the conclusion. If there is a two possibility of the glacial presence, if this area was located at the negative temperature region, the first possibility is if this area was located near the negative temperature region, that means you can say that if you say that if that equatorial region if located at the polar region, if the present equatorial region once a time it was located near the polar region, then this is possible. Or the temperature of the equatorial region or the present equatorial region was in negative condition. So second possibility is not possible. Second possibility is not feasible. Okay, so second possibility if not feasible, then the first possibility has the chances to more suitable or the correct chances. So negative temperature, that means this region was located in the negative temperature region, or you can say in the polar or subpolar region. This location or the present equatorial region was located near the polar or the subpolar region, then this possibility is feasible. Then this possibility is the feasible. So on this point, he also emphasized his theory that once a time that today's equatorial region was located near the polar region. And he told in his theory all the masses, all the continental mass was accumulated near the South Pole. In this theory, he told that and this point give the more point or give the more force on his theory. Okay, and the third point, at the present time, the coal deposition is found. Coal deposition near Arctic line. Coal deposition near the Arctic line. Coal deposition, if the coal deposition is found in any place, then it is then what you can conclude? You can conclude that there were a lot of there were a forest region was present, because the coal was formed by the conversion of the forest or the you can say hard biomass into the coal. So forest or the quality of the coal is the anthracite. The quality of the coal is the anthracite. If the anthracite coal is present, that means it is the best coal in the quality. If the best coal in the quality, then this type of the coal is formed by the rainforest. A rainforest, which biomass is very high. So if the coal deposition is found near the Arctic line at the present time, then it is possible. Is it possible that the rainforest is present at the Arctic line at present time? No, it is impossible. So what should be the possibility? What would be the possibility? The possibility is that this region was located at the equatorial. This region was located near the equatorial region, and when this region was located near the equatorial region is suitable for the rainforest, and that time there were the present of the rainforest. And when this continental part was drifted toward the northeast direction, and so at the present time, it took a long time period to reach at the present time, and during that long time period this rainforest was buried, and then it is converted into the best quality of the coal, that is the anthracite coal. Best quality of the coal, that is the anthracite coal. So this point or this evidence also provide the importance, or also support the theory of the Mr. Wagner. This point also support the theory of Mr. Wagner. So third evidence that was given by the Mr. Wagner. The fourth evidence, he took the fossils like the mesosaurs. The fossils presence, or you can the same fossils presence on different continent. Okay, when he was studied, when he was collected the evidences, Ghatak core. Hello sir, Jai Hind. Sharath, good morning sir, good morning. Ankin, hello, hi. Okay, so fossils presence. When he was studied that, he studied that the fossils present in the North America on this eastern margin, the fossils presence on the North American eastern margins continent is the same. The fossils present in the European continent's western margin, and the organism which is found, the fossils of that organism is found, that the situation or the condition of the North America is not suitable for the that particular organism. So if that particular organism cannot live here, and they don't have ability to swim a long distance, so how these fossils are reached there? How these fossils were reached there? So you can conclude, once upon a time this continent or this section, both section was the associated or the joint. When the drifting was taking place, then they cannot move from this section to this section because this is the result of the diastrophic moment. So slow drifting was taking place. That is why they was not able to move in this direction. They was not able to shift this direction. And when this continent moved this direction into the adverse situation, this continent moved into the adverse situation for that organism, they cannot survive, and they could not survive, and they died. And today at the present time they are not present in this region. So their fossils are present, but they are not present because this section of the continent has arrived at that region which is not suitable for that particular organism. Okay, my name is Aman. Okay, Aman. So the next evidence is given by the fossils. He took some fossils in the same experiment in the context of the South America and the Europe. He also took the same things in America, South America and Africa, not Europe. South Africa, Africa and the South America. So in the South America and Africa, the same fossil features, or the same fossil means not the fossils of the same organism, the same criteria or the same phenomena is seen in this region. So on the basis of this evidence, on the basis of this thing, he easily can calculate, he can easily draw the attention, he drawn the attention that were once upon a time that all continents was the associated. He told in this theory, and for his theory he gave the some evidences, and his evidences is not a lame evidences. His evidences prove this, that the continents was the part of the single continent. Okay, so this theory is very first time provided to the world community, that the continents are drifting, and why these continents are drifted from each other. This is unquestioned in this theory. Why this movement is happening, it is unquestioned, but this movement is happening, it is cleared in this theory. And he proved this theory, proved by this theory, that this is happening at the present time also. So after what is the drawback of the, for the removing of the drawback of the continental drift theory, once a theory was given by the Mr. McKenzie, Parker and Morgan. Three scientists were there, and the three geomorphologists as well as the scientists, Morgan, Parker and McKenzie. Three persons have the contribution in the postulating the theory of the plate tectonic theory. So next theory, that is the important theory for us, that is the plate tectonic theory. We will discuss the plate tectonic theory in the next section or the next session tomorrow. So please meet the tomorrow on the same platform, on the same YouTube channel. I hope you understand the things. If you have any problem, you can put your comment on the comment box, offline comment. And if you like the session, please share the session to your friends, and please do subscribe this YouTube channel. And this is the channel that is very helpful for you, for if you're preparing for the UPSC examination in the English medium. All the things are moving in this, all the things is providing on this platform for the English medium student from morning to evening. Everything is provided that is very helpful for you in your civil services exam preparation. So please don't forget to share this YouTube channel and subscribe this YouTube channel. Okay, so we will meet in the next session. Thank you so much.